Sequent ORM is the key aspect of Laravel's database integration solution. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to create migrations in order to work and create table, edit table, update or delete any table or column you need for your database. First thing you need to create in order you to be able to create a migration, you need to go to your command line. I already have my server up and running. So I'm not going to touch this, and instead I'm going to open up a terminal, make the font a bit bigger. So first step, you need to head over to your application, which is inside my sites, and the name of my application, Laravel. If you don't see anything like this as I type right here, this is because I configured my Unix bash.bash_profile file, and that's why I see here. If you don't know what it is, that's fine. You just type pwt to see where you are. I'm actually inside the Laravel. So the first step you need to do to make it work, as you know, you already type php artisan, and then previously in Laravel 4, it's worth to mention that previously in Laravel 4, you used to type migrate and then make, or migration and make, but in here in Laravel 5, so you type make first, and then migration, which is a noun, and then after that, give it a name with a underscore separated. So let's call it create underscore paintings. So make sure you spell it right and make it plural. So I recommend you to make it plural. I'll tell you later why you need that. So let's hit enter, and you can see that it says create migration. The file name sits inside your database, inside the migration, and it starts with the year, month, the day, and then a special this is not an ID, this is time, which is 18:14:09. My current time actually is 7 o'clock, but it's actually showing 6 o'clock because I'm a +1 from UCT, which is the Greenwich timing zone. So I'm just going to open up the database and see that I have a migration, and I have 3 migration, with 2 of them are created by default by Laravel. So create paintings, which was I made it, and then inside this is really important. I want to open up all of these too. First thing you see that we have a blueprint on top of this. Let's open up create user table. So you see that in the create user table, which Laravel made us already, we have a blueprint, and inside the function we're using this blueprint. So blueprints is something that I'm going to talk about later in the upcoming chapter, but is already used by your migration, and obviously using a migrate here because you're extending this class from it. So I'm just going to order it a little bit better for clarity. So it actually removed the blueprint, which I'm not going to remove it. Secondly, you have a up and down functions. Up is going forward, down is going backward. It's like when you migrate the database, when you create something, you need to remove it. So if anything happens, if you want to migrate down, your table created can be removed, but you have to make the drop or down methods yourself. So whatever you're doing, you're gonna do vice versa down underneath it. So first thing, I'm gonna create a table. As you might, I'm just gonna create here. I'm gonna create right here schema. You might say you're using the same comment. Yeah, we are using the same comments. Schema, create, and inside the create, give it a name. I'm gonna create a table called paintings. Make sure you spell it right, and plural, and a function. In your function, let me call this T or table. Make sure you put this semicolon at the end, and what we need to do is just open up the curly braces. So inside the curly braces, we use this variable T starting with $sign table. Let's create an ID with increments and the name of it ID, and then the next one is going to be string, let's say title, and then the next one T is going to be again a string. Let's call this artist. Then the next one T again, we're gonna create integer in this time, integer. So you might ask what type of column names we have. There's a really good documentation in Laravel. I'm going to show you in a bit, but we have different types of big increments, which is going to actually make an increment an ID, and big int, big integer, binary, boolean, char or char, date time, decimal, double, float, and so on. So most of the important things that I covered were boolean, date time, timestamp, string, and binary, increments, and so on. It's worth mentioning that we have long text and text also with tiny integer, small integer, or medium integer. So whatever you want to use it, if you want to use it, you can use, if you want to, for example, make it big, let's call this big, and then you have to make this big integer capital I. So this is going to be a big integer. So it's not that difficult. The only thing you need to remember is just the convention. And inside the integer, I'm going to use year as a name of the column. And finally, I'm going to use, again, timestamp. So because we are using migration, you need these timestamps. Then I didn't spell it right, timestamps. So whenever you are migrating, use this timestamp because it will create the updated and created columns for you to be able to work with it. So the next thing is going to be down method. Obviously you are creating a table. For the down method you're going to drop it. So let's use the schema again. And for schema we just have a simple command called drop and then the name of the table, which is going to be paintings. Like this, and put a semicolon. So we head back to our command line and let's just clear the screen. If you want to migrate, let's head over to our PHP admin. As you can see that we don't have any other table right now. So we're going to migrate first and see what happens. Keep in mind that we have two other tables, such as the first one is going to be password reset, and the third one is going to be users. So let's see if Laravel creates all these tables or give us any error. Let's just see. So let's type PHP artisan. So after artisan, all you need to do is just type migrate and hit enter. But before we hit enter, I need to mention that Laravel is going to ask you a question to say, okay, we are creating this migration inside the production. If you don't want to see that, you can just type -- force and it will, ignore that question from you. But since I want to show you that question, I'm just going to hit enter and it will say table created successfully, and you didn't see that question anymore. So that's fine. So we see that we have three migrations: user table, password reset table, and create painting. All of these tables has to be generated already for us. So I'm just going to hit click on this, and then you see that we have a table called migration as well as paintings, which you're going to see the paintings table, ID, title, artist, etc. And I'm going to head over to password reset structure, and you can see that we have email token. An email token, I think email is unique and we don't have any ID, so this is going to be just used for password reset. And we have a user which has name, email, password, remember token, created that and updated that. So these are the table we created already. So let's head over to say user table. In the user table, you see that we have users and all of these tables. This is something that Laravel creates it for you. So you can see that we have a schema drop users, and inside this, if we just roll back the migration, this method is not gonna run, and this method is gonna run. So we're gonna roll back in a little bit, but let's head over to password reset table. So we have a password reset. This is something that for authentication. So for example, you forget your password, you're gonna if you want to reset it, this table will be used, and we have a down method. So let's roll back. How to roll back in a Laravel. So I'm just gonna clear this screen again. To roll back, all you need to do, just type the same command and just press colon keyword and then type roll back, and that's it. You roll back all of those tables. So if I head over and hit refresh or just click in new app, you can see that we no longer have those tables, but we have migration table. So let's just refresh for you to see all of these tables are just here. What is migration table? Migration table is something like is a table which keeps track of the migrations you create. So all the migrations have different IDs and batch. So let me just browse to see how many things we have in migration. We currently have nothing. Let's just go back to our terminal and let's migrate again. And now let's just browse. You can see that we have 3 migration with the batch number 1. Each of them is in batch number 1. All of those files that you see here, let me just make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, see that 2014, 15, create user, create password, all of these files, and apart from .php extension, all of them will be sit on inside this table. So anything you do with your migration will be kept inside this migration table. So next time, if something happens by accident, you're gonna roll back. So I'm just gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna roll back again. Let me just say how to update a table. To update a table, let me just create another migration. So I'm just gonna create clear the screen. Let's say PHP artisan make migrate. Again, we had. So in this time, I'm just gonna call it update underscore paintings. So hit enter. So we created another migration. So let's just see that update painting. Let's open it up. Inside this, we have just migration and blueprint. To update the table, again, all you need to do is just type the schema with a function table and give it a name for your table, which is paintings, and your closure function. And I'm going to call this, let's just call this U, because we are updating. I want you to differentiate. So inside this, the first thing, one thing I'm going to do is use this U variable and create another string, another column called, let's say, email, and make this unique. So let's say unique, and let's just close this. And in the down method, if you want to remove this, again, we're using the schema, but this time I'm just going to copy this, and then again, painting function U, and to drop a table, to drop a column, all you need to do is just type drop column with a capital C, and inside this, just type the column name, and that's all you have to type. Let's head over to here, and let's say PHP artisan migrate. Let's hit enter, and you can see that Laravel already knows that we, in the database, knows that we actually ran all of those, migrations. This time it just runs the update paintings file. So let's just save it and head over to Chrome, and I'm just gonna refresh, and you can see that we have painting. Let me just refresh, paintings, structure, and you can see that we have email. So email with the varchar, and it's updated. If you want to roll back, you have to just type roll back, and it will only roll back one step. So one step back, just head over here and refresh, structure, email's gone.